Hey everybody, Coach Hatzel here coming at you, the owner of Get Lean in 12. If you're scrolling through your feed, stop and check this out. Inside this video, I'm going to share 6 keys that our Get Lean in 12 transformation superstars use to transform their bodies and lives. Now, 5 of these 6 keys really don't have anything to do with exercise or diet. And these are the intangibles, I think, that are the difference maker. And if you're missing any one of these things from your health and nutrition plan, chances are you're going to fail. Now, if you're scrolling through your feed, check this out. My name is Sean Hatzel. I'm the owner of Get Lean in 12. And if you don't know who I am, I've been in this industry over 20 years. And my wife Karen and I have been fortunate enough to have our products sold to over 100,000 people just in the last 5 years alone. And so these 6 keys are what I see every one of our transformation superstars have in common. My wife Karen and I owned a personal training studio franchise in Ann Arbor for 5 years, and this is the keys that all our successful clients use there. And then, of course, our online community that's reached over 100,000 people. This, with our greatest transformation success stories, these are the 6 keys that you need to follow. Now, at the end of this video, I'm also going to introduce you to a system I've created. It's called the Over 40 Absolution. So it's designed for the metabolism of people who are over 35 years old. So people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s should definitely move differently than younger people if your goal is to lose stubborn belly fat. So the 6th key that I'm going to share with you will introduce you to that. And inside the system that I've created, there's a link somewhere around this video. Usually it's above. It could be below. We'll put it in the comments section. And if you're watching this, leave a comment. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're from. And then at the end of this video, I'll go ahead and introduce you to my system that includes a 12-minute metabolic protocol specifically designed for the metabolism and the hormonal condition of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So the first key is finding your big reason why. So wanting a flatter belly or fitting into your skinny jeans again, those are great goals. However, it's only going to get you so far. It's not enough to help you follow through. You have to find your big reason why. If you don't find your big reason why, you're probably going to fail every time the going gets tough. Now, a perfect example of this is way back in 1998 when I was only 20 years old. I placed first runner-up grand champion in the Body for Life contest with over 22,000 finishers. Now, in that short 90-day period, I was fortunate enough to take my body fat from almost 20% all the way down to 5%. And I'll show pictures below in the comments so that you guys can see how I've used this 12-minute metabolic protocol found inside my system to actually maintain around 10% body fat. Since I was 28 years old, and now I'm 45 years old, I'm a grandpa to 3 beautiful grandkids, and I have 1 more on the way here in March. But the reason that I was able to get placed first runner-up grand champion in the Body for Life contest is because I found my big reason why. I was going through a custody battle over my daughter. And she was 6 years old, and I wanted more than anything in the world to be a part of her life and to be a father to her and have a deep relationship with her. And that was my reason why. That's what allowed me, when I was exposed to the bad food, when I was supposed to be eating healthy, when the going got tough, my big reason why, anchoring back to my daughter and what I wanted to achieve, allowed me to have a higher level of discipline. So you need to find the deepest source of your emotional triggers if you want to succeed and transform your body and life. The second key is your thought life. So we become what we think about most of the time. And I have a saying, I always say it's all about the BS, and it's not the BS you're thinking about. I'm talking about your belief system. And I think Henry Ford said it best when he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably going to be right. So remember, we become what we think about most of the time. Now, here's a little bit of science, and I'll post a study below because I'll make a couple claims here. According to Dr. Carolyn Leaf, who is an expert on brain neurology, 75 to 95% of the illnesses that plague us today are a direct result of our thought life. So what we think affects us emotionally and physically, and the average person has over 30,000 thoughts a day. So research also shows that fear all on its own triggers more than 1,400 known physical and chemical reactions and activates more than 30 different hormones. Again, I'll post the reference source for these claims below in the comments area. Now, here's 4 quick ways that you can control your thought life. Number 1, you could read a daily devotional that has a positive message in it. You could also, what I like to do is I write in a gratitude journal every morning for 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, research shows, and I can post some references down in the comments area about this as well, but research shows that people who express gratitude are healthier, they lose more weight, and they're more successful than people who are ungrateful. The third one is you could write down some positive affirmations on goal cards. I have these 5x7 goal cards that I read every day for each area of my life. So spiritually, mentally, physically, family, finances, all this stuff. So I read my goals, and I have positive affirmations that I read every day to keep my head in the right spot. Another thing you could do is create a vision board with maybe an old picture of yourself on it when you were fitting into your skinny jeans. And or you could create what I call a mind movie, and this is just a slides with music behind it, showing what you want to achieve in every area of your life. Remember, every thought we have, good or bad, is creating our future. So the third key is to unplug and recharge. You see, every day we are bombarded with more information than our previous ancestors were bombarded with in their entire lifetime, because of technology and, of course, the internet. So it's very important that you unplug from technology and you recharge your mental battery. This is so important for your health and fat loss goals. So avoid negative news. Yes, I care about what's going on in the world, but I know when I turn on the news, if I do that first thing in the morning, that's going to be a reflection of my attitude the rest of the day, and it's going to be negativity. So seek out positive messages. Read biographies of successful people. The fourth key to succeeding is accountability and deadlines. And I can tell you this, every single time in my life that I failed versus every single time that I've succeeded, it was because I was either being held accountable or I wasn't. My wife just walked in. Hi, Karen. Hi. I'm live. So anyway, accountability, and there's a couple different things you can use for accountability. You could find a workout partner, you could enter a contest or make a bet with a friend. You could text each other your nutrition every day. I started doing that with my stepson at the beginning of this year because he was having a hard time. He was so focused on his career and being a dad to my grandson that he gained a lot of belly fat. So we started texting each other. Every time we'd eat, we text each other back and forth. And this was really effective for him, and it was really effective for me, because every time you go to eat, if you know you have to text it to somebody, you're being held accountable. The other thing I like to do is schedule a photo shoot. And I know this isn't really realistic for everybody else. That's my dog Mindy here barking, by the way. Cockapoo. So where was I at? Yeah, so text each other. Oh, schedule a photo shoot. That's right. I like to schedule a photo shoot like once a year at least, because I know if I have a photo shoot scheduled for, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks from now, and I sit down to eat pizza, I'm going to look at that totally different and probably make a healthier choice, because I know I have to be in front of a camera in 8 weeks from now, so it holds me accountable. The fifth key, and this is very powerful, is your reference group. And this is about birds of a feather flock together. So we become who we hang out with. And my mentor Jim Rohn said it best. We become the sum of the 5 people that we hang out with the most. And Harvard psychologist Dr. Dave McClelland calls this your reference group, and his research shows that it will determine 95% of your failure or success in life. So it's very important when you're trying to lose belly fat and you're trying to live a healthy lifestyle and you want to change things, you need to write down the 5 people that you hang out with the most and take a good hard look at that, because that really is your future. I'm not saying we should ditch our family and friends that are dysfunctional. We all have dysfunctions. I mean, every time you point the finger, you have 3 pointing back at you, right? So I'm not saying that, but I think you should be consciously aware of who you're hanging out with and make your best effort to surround yourself with like-minded people who will support your goals and not drag you down. Remember, when you make the decision to get away from negative friends and family and hang around people that are more in line with your goals, you're holding up a mirror to their shortcomings. So they will fight you on it, but it's very important. I have a saying. There are 2 types of people in this world: those who brighten a room when they enter it, and those who brighten a room when they leave it. And which ones are you hanging out with? Something to consider. Now, the 6th and final key, and this is the most important one, is to put exercise first in your life. Now, this is not a selfish thing to do, and most women struggle with this more than anything else. See, when you put exercise first in your life, that discipline flows over into every other area of your life because exercise is our number one source of emotional renewal. And it's the one thing that will impact in a positive way every single other area of your life. And I know this for a fact. When I was done doing the Body for Life contest way back in 1998, when I was done, I had 5% body fat. I had lost 20 pounds of belly fat. I had gained 5 pounds of muscle. And again, I'll post the pictures below in the comments when I'm done with this live video. But that was really just a bonus side effect. You see, every other area of my life was impacted in a positive way. I had mended broken relationships. I had paid off all my debts. I landed a modeling contract, started a new career, and the most important aspect is I had joint legal custody rights of my daughter. Now, since that time, a few years back, I was voted America's most fit health and fitness pro over 40. My wife and I were voted franchise superstars for our personal training studio. So you can see how putting exercise in your life will positively impact every other area of your life. Now, you just have to make sure that you're moving right based on your age category. So people who are 35 years and under can do pretty much any type of exercise and get great results. So exercises like P90X and Insanity and CrossFit, these are all very effective ways to lose belly fat. But remember, they are designed for people under 35 years old. And for people who are over 40 in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, it's important to understand that your metabolism is different and the hormonal condition of people over 40 is going to be a lot different than people under 35. So these long duration workouts that I just mentioned, not only do they use ballistic movements that can be hard on your joints, the long duration workouts can wreak havoc on people's metabolisms when you're over 40 years old. So somewhere around this video, you can see a link to click or tap, and you'll be introduced to my system called the Over 40 Abs Solution. And inside this system, you're going to be introduced to a 12-minute metabolic protocol like I mentioned earlier. And this 12-minute metabolic protocol is specifically designed for the metabolism of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. This is the same 12-minute protocol I've used to maintain 10% body fat or lower pretty much for the last 15 plus years. Now, it's also the same protocol that my wife used when we were first married 11 years ago. She was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and it forced her into early menopause. And she accumulated a ton of upper belly fat. And so as a result, obviously her self-esteem plummeted, and no matter what we tried, she could not lose the belly fat. We tried long-duration cardio. Now we know there's 4 published studies showing that long-duration cardio can be bad for your metabolism. One study shows that it can suppress the thyroid, so your T4 to T3 conversion. The thyroid is the master gland of the metabolism because it regulates the metabolism. It can also increase cortisol, which is known as a stress hormone. It can increase free radicals, which is also linked to some of today's diseases. And then the fourth thing it does is it's been shown to increase hunger levels. So people who do too much cardio end up eating 100 more calories than they burned off. So it's in your best interest to be moving based on your age category. So if you click the link somewhere around this video, you'll see my wife's story. You'll be able to read about my wife's story. You'll also see my grandson, and you'll also see how you can put this 12-minute metabolic protocol to work in your life to help you quickly lose more weight. So again, if you have questions, go ahead and post them in the comments below. If you're watching this, please leave your name. Let us know where you're from. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to check this out, and keep going strong.